Celebrate International Women's Month with the perfect glass of wine. My friend Yvette Simpson has her own wine brand, Yvette's Vines, and Felicia Prater is a wine master, and both of them are here today to highlight women in the wine industry and also give us some tasting advice. It also happens to be International Riesling Day. So we're going to talk about all these things. Welcome, ladies. I'm so glad to see you.
So glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
So how underrepresented are women in the wine industry?
So much. I mean, we think about the number of women winemakers. Less than 20% of women are winemakers in the nation.
Okay.
And then of somms, only 25 of 168 master somms are women.
Why is that?
But women consume more wine. So it's just been like any industry, one that's been exclusive. And so women are making our way through the industry more and more every year. Women are super tasters. We have more taste receptors on our tongue, so we're actually better at it.
We're better at bourbon too.
I
learned that on a bourbon tasting. So yeah, we do have a better palate. Felicia, tell me what it takes to be a wine master.
So I actually have my MBA in wine management from Sonoma State University. So I'm not necessarily a master in the sense of the Court of Somms, but I went through a program which pretty much ran the gamut: wine distribution, wine financials, wine marketing, etc. So I started my company, The Urban Taste, and we do wine consulting, education, and events.
Oh, that's great. Yvette, why did you want to get into the wine business? I mean, it seems like so simple. I like wine. I'm going to make one. Was it that easy?
Wine brings us together. And after a long career in politics, I needed something that brings people together. It brings joy, and also it reflects every single culture. Just like people, it's diverse, it's rich, it's on most tables around the world. And I wanted people to learn more about it. It's also been very exclusive, and I wanted more everyday people to feel like you could grab a glass of wine confidently, talk about it, and enjoy it.
Oh, that's great. So supporting women in the wine industry is as easy as buying a woman-made or woman-owned wine.
That's right.
So what are some good brands for that, Felicia?
We got a few today.
Okay.
Yeah, so on the table here we have Aslina Wines, the Chardonnay from South Africa. And Siki Bayela was actually the first Black female winemaker in South African history.
Really?
So she's doing some great things there. And then we also have a Portuguese wine that's made by a woman, the Tabodela, which is a really great spring varietal. And then we also have a Theophilus's Vineyards, Cuvée Blanc from Theo, who actually is a lawyer by day out of Louisville, and a winemaker and just wine extraordinaire out of Napa.
And some wines are for springs specifically. What makes a wine better for spring?
Well, we think about white wines, right? We think about the food that you're eating. Sun's out, wine's out, right? We think about lighter foods. And Felicia will tell you some of the foods that we might pair with some of these wines. When it's warm, we tend to want a lighter wine just because, you know, it's warm.
Lighter food.
And lighter food. So it all goes well together. And there's a large variety of white wines. And so this year, we're encouraging people to step outside your comfort zone. So if you tend to like a Chardonnay, maybe try a Chardonnay from another part of the world. Or maybe you can get a varietal like a Vermentino out of Italy. Or a Sauve. Or you can, I mean, there's so
I've never
many
even heard of some of these.
There's so many amazing white wines. So go to your retailer and say, hey, I usually like a Chardonnay. Can you give me a different one? Or this is the kind of flavor I like. Give me one that's a little different so that we try new things.
30 seconds left to talk about Riesling.
Today is International Riesling Day.
So happy Riesling Day. How can you tell how sweet or not a Riesling is?
So the label tells the story in Riesling. So on the label, this one is a Trocken, which is German for dry. This one is Feinherb, which is German for off dry. And then this one is a Spätlese, which is late harvest, which means the grapes ripen more on the vine, so it makes a sweeter wine.
Oh my gosh.
And if you want a little cheat, the alcohol tells the story too. So the lower the alcohol content, the drier the wine, the sweeter the wine. So
the lower the alcohol, the sweeter the wine.
Okay. So if you want a sweeter wine, 9% or less.
I like my wine to taste like Kool-Aid.
There you go.
I do like it sweet. I do like
that
Riesling.
Spätlese.
So can we just take a moment, because you said as we were getting started here, we wanted to raise a glass to our friend, John Lomax.
May his memory be a blessing. His legacy is known in this city.
He definitely is.
Thank
you so much, Felicia and Yvette.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.